Welcome to the End of Days Chronicles channel. Did the Nephilim perish in the flood, or did they survive afterwards, as mentioned in Genesis 6 verse 14? According to Genesis 6 verse 14, as the human population grew and daughters were born, the sons of God noticed the beauty of the daughters of men and took them as wives. Recognizing the earthly nature of humans, the Lord declared that His Spirit would not strive with them indefinitely, given their fleshly nature, and limited their lifespan to 120 years. During this time, giants existed on the earth, both before and after the sons of God intermingled with the daughters of men, giving rise to powerful men of great stature, as described in the Hebrew Bible. The Nephilim, enigmatic beings or individuals possessing exceptional size and strength, have been a subject of debate regarding their existence before and after the flood during Noah's time. The Hebrew term Nephilim is sometimes interpreted as giants or the fallen ones. While their presence before the flood is widely accepted, there is uncertainty about their survival after the catastrophic event, as described in Genesis 6 verse 2. Some biblical scholars identify the sons of God as the fallen angels who engaged in marital unions with human women before the flood. Consequently, the Nephilim are believed to be the offspring resulting from the interbreeding of humans and fallen angels. Therefore, it is important to note that the Nephilim are neither angels nor fully human, but rather a hybrid species representing the superhuman, giant descendants of wicked angels who associated with women during that time. The account in Genesis 6 states that the sons of God, rebellious angels cast out of heaven, left their heavenly abode and took human women as wives due to their beauty. The Bible does not provide detailed explanations on how spiritual beings could produce offspring with humans, nor does it explicitly clarify whether the angels assumed physical form. It is crucial to understand that while reading the Bible, there may be topics that are not fully comprehensible, as the Bible's purpose is not to answer every question but to provide instruction, correction, and training in righteousness, equipping servants of God for good works. The Nephilim, described as giants who brought violence to the earth in their time, raise the question of whether they truly persisted after the flood or if they were eradicated by it. H. Ross explores this question by contemplating the reappearance of the Nephilim following the flood, considering the belief that Noah's flood wiped them all out. If the sons of God were fallen angels and these disobedient angels were confined in the abyss, as mentioned in Jude 6, how could they return to interact with human women? On the other hand, if the sons of God were human men, where did they originate from? Is it possible that some of the Nephilim from before the flood managed to survive the catastrophic event? According to 2 Peter 2 verse 5, all ungodly individuals were eradicated during Noah's flood. Genesis 7 confirms in multiple verses that all of humanity and every living creature associated with humanity, except those aboard the ark, perished. Therefore, the Nephilim did not survive the catastrophic flood. The explanation for the existence of post-flood Nephilim suggests the presence of a distinct group of sons of God, separate from those who had relations with human women before the flood. These post-flood sons of God engaged in relationships with human women born after the flood. If these sons of God were fallen angels, they would be different from those imprisoned in the abyss for their transgressions before the flood. Consequently, the abyss would contain two categories of fallen angels: those who had interactions with human women before the flood and those who did so after. Alternatively, if the sons of God were human males, this interpretation implies that God had commanded the sons of Shem and or Japheth not to engage in sexual relations with the daughters of Ham and Canaan. Violating this command would have led to a second generation of Nephilim. Regarding the resurgence of the Nephilim, Numbers 13:33 recounts the report brought by the spies sent to Canaan. They claimed that the land devoured its inhabitants and that the people they encountered were of extraordinary stature, commonly referred to as giants or Nephilim. The spies felt incredibly small, like grasshoppers, in comparison to them. This narrative aligns with the previously attributed characteristics of the Nephilim, who were known for their remarkable size and strength. The inhabitants of Canaan, including the sons of Anak, were considered giants. Their immense stature rendered the armies of Israel insignificantly tiny in their presence. The giants in Canaan were enigmatic and monstrous, leaving the Israelite spies feeling as insignificant as grasshoppers. Despite the false claim made by the 10 spies, Joshua and Caleb relied on God's strength and attempted to reassure the rest of the Israelites. In later times, David and his men encountered these giants, some of whom reached astonishing heights, such as Goliath, who stood over 9 feet tall. Additionally, some of these giants had 6 fingers and toes on each hand and foot. Another battle in Gath involved a giant with 6 fingers on each hand and 6 toes on each foot, totaling 24 digits. This individual was a descendant of Rapha, one of the mighty men whom David defeated. Once again, Moses recounted the Israelites' victory over the nations outside their own, specifically mentioning Og, a descendant of the Nephilim, in Deuteronomy 3 verse 11. He described Og's bed as being made of iron and measuring 13.5 feet long, which is an unusual detail. While the Bible does not explicitly explain the post-flood existence of the Nephilim, there are various indications in Scripture that suggest their presence. A multitude of myths and legends have arisen surrounding the post-flood existence of the Nephilim, adding to their intrigue and capturing people's interest. It is crucial to emphasize that, as Christians, our beliefs are solely rooted in the Bible. However, it is worth mentioning information from external sources outside the Bible to gain additional insights on the subject. In Jewish tradition, the Book of Enoch, though not included in the canonical Hebrew Bible, provides a comprehensive narrative about the Nephilim. It delves into their origins, their corrupting influence on humanity, and the divine punishment that resulted in the Great Flood. The book also suggests that the spirits of the Nephilim endured as demons even after their physical destruction. While this text is not recognized by many Judeo-Christian denominations, it presents an intriguing perspective on the fate of the Nephilim, contributing to our understanding of these beings. However, it is essential to reiterate that our faith is solely based on the Holy Bible. The information presented in the Book of Enoch regarding the Nephilim may be true or false, but our trust remains firmly grounded in the biblical account. The narrative of the Nephilim also sparks discussions regarding the genetic implications of their survival. If the Nephilim were indeed a hybrid species, their genetic material would have had to survive the flood for their lineage to continue. This has led to speculation that the wives or children of Noah's sons may have carried the genetic component of the Nephilim, reintroducing their lineage to the post-flood world. However, this theory remains speculative at best and attempts to provide a natural explanation within the context of a supernatural event. Exploring other ancient texts and mythologies from the Near East can offer comparative insights into the biblical depiction of the Nephilim. Many ancient cultures possess legends about giants and divine beings mingling with humans, suggesting a shared cultural understanding of such entities during the time these texts were written. These collective accounts may indicate a common memory of a real group of individuals whose physical characteristics led to their deification in the stories of different peoples. It is important to emphasize that this is not a topic that should consume your entire life or lead to endless debates. Questions such as whether the Nephilim survived the flood or if the imprisoned angels will be released are unproductive and fruitless. In Titus 3 verse 9, the Bible instructs us to avoid foolish questions, genealogies, contentions, and disputes about the law, as they are unprofitable and meaningless. The apostle characterizes them as foolish because they lack practical value and consume valuable time and energy that could be better directed towards other matters. Instead, let us focus on things that truly hold significance, such as our relationship with the Lord and nurturing our prayer life. We should remember that the Bible was not written to provide answers to all of our questions. While we may have inquiries for God when we encounter Him, the purpose of the Bible is to guide us in our journey with the Lord, offering guidance for our lives in this world and the next. It is not intended to provide answers to every single question we may have. Thank you for watching. Did the Nephilim survive the flood or perish? According to Genesis 6 verse 14, they were the offspring of fallen angels and human women, known for their extraordinary size and strength. Join the discussion by liking, commenting, and subscribing to our channel. Stay tuned for more captivating content.